Hello everyone and welcome back to 4KB Shorts Let's Play of Cryostasis. So we're up on the top deck, like literally the top deck. There's no higher area we can get to. This is the it. And apparently there are doors that open on their own up here, which is nice. Except when the cold closes them. And then the heat opens them back up. So now we have a bit of a war going on here between the hot and the cold. We are here to save the ship. We have to go through and heat every room. But now the door opens saying, "Please come in, I invite you." Then the windows smash open and the cold blows the door shut, saying, "No, you cannot move forward." And then this crack opens up in the floor, dispels the cold and says, "No, no, please, continue forward." So now the hot and the cold are fighting for control over where we end up and whether or not we can save the ship. Now we do have to be careful in places like this because it is extremely cold in here. Because again, we are fighting heat and cold here. So we have the heat, little places of hot that are here to save us, and then the rest of it is the roof torn in, just cold air flowing in from outside, which is freezing everything.
Экипажу приготовиться. Машина готова?
Капитан, да ты в своем уме? Мы же по уши во льду сидим.
Даю самый малый вперед.
So the captain ordered a head slow in order to get the ship out of the glacier. And of course his men are like, "No, no, sir, don't do that. If you do, we're surrounded in ice. We're never gonna make it out of here." So now we're heading towards that area. Nope, not going that way. We are going this way. So yeah, it was cold in here, and then the door opened. Now it's even colder. And had we gone in that room, haha, we probably would have died. Because now the cold is trying to trick us. Says, "Please come through this door. Come explore. See what's in here." But if we do, there's no heat in there. There's no life in there. It's all frozen. Even in that room, it's freezing. So we have to be very cautious. We have to make sure we stand on this heat, keep ourselves warm, make it through this area where the cold is just trying to take us out.
Машина. Перехожу на средний.
I guess we follow this guy. Where are we now? Oh, I know where we are. I know where we are. Let's go.
Что происходит? Ремонт окончен?
Капитан может погубить корабль.
Да ты что? У меня же груз! Капитан, откройте дверь! Капитан, откройте! Что с вами?
Самый полный вперед.
А радиограмма где? Ты что, ему радиограмму отдал?
So now the chief of security is beating up on the first officer for giving the captain the message saying they're going to take the ship away from him. Captain, of course, is trying to get the ship out of the ice to go home, and no one's really trying to help him. He's up here by himself trying to do that. Now here's where the mental echoes are really getting interesting. Now this is a body, or a would-be body, a place where a body had been at one time, but now it's just a place where there's heat, but there's no frame.
Откройте! Что с вами?
Самый полный вперед.
А радиограмма где? Ты что, ему радиограмму отдал? В чем дело? Кажется, ты этого хотел. Бери штурвал, корабль твой.
Поворотов нет. Рычаг не работает. Не могу повернуть. Помогай. Рычаг хода заклинило. Машина. Полный назад.
20 узлов идем. Опасно.
Телеграф заклинило. Давай реверс, под трибунал пойдешь.
Ход на реверс. Пожар в турбинном отсеке. Защита реактора. Неужели нельзя его остановить?
Ну сделай же что-нибудь.
Успокойтесь, некуда больше спешить. Ждать осталось совсем немного. Скоро начнется.
Сколько времени еще?
Не знаю, это неподконтрольный процесс. Нужно уходить.
Как уходить? А команда?
Команда справится. Готовить вертолет.
Без визы капитана я на это не пойду.
Я тебе помогу. Пойдем на это вместе. Через 10 минут ждите на верхней площадке.
Отпускай хлеб твой по водам, потому что по прошествии многих дней опять найдешь его.
Постой. Он говорит что-то.
Нет, ничего не слышу.
Poor captain. But at least they carried him off, you know, at least they didn't leave him here to die alone on the bridge. It's always a nice thing. But yeah, so the captain's trying to get them out of the glacier. They're stuck. The glass broke in his face. I'm not sure what causes the glass to break, honestly. Maybe the glacier attacked. It's hard to say. They came rushing in. And when the first officer tried to reverse the engines, he caused the engine room fire and the reactor overload. And then after that, it's just like, let's leave. The crew can manage themselves, let's go. Is this for Danko? I believe this is for Danko. Let's see.
И вот его сердце вспыхнуло огнем желания спасти их, вывести на легкий путь. И тогда в его очах засверкали лучи того могучего огня. А они, увидав это, подумали, что он рассвирепел, отчего так ярко и разгорелись очи. И они насторожились, как волки, ожидая, что он будет бороться с ними, и стали плотнее окружать его, чтобы легче им было схватить и убить Данка. А он уже понял их думу. Оттого еще ярче загорелось в нем сердце, ибо эта их дума родила в нем тоску.
Poor Danko. Much like the captain, all he wanted to do was save his people. And they turned against him. And he had nothing. Nothing. Just lost forever. And now we're back up on the top deck. But as you can see, it's not as cold up here. And it's because of the heat rails. So now we have these cracks of heat just spiraling out through the ship. And it's just enough to keep us warm up on the top deck.
И помни Создателя твоего в дни юности твоей, доколе не пришли тяжелые дни и не наступили годы, о которых ты будешь говорить, нет мне удовольствия в них. Доколе не померкли солнце и свет, и луна, и звезды, и не нашли новые тучи вслед за дождем.
So that's the captain, and he's quoting, I believe he's quoting the Bible, but there's no translation for it, so you'll have to look up exactly what he's quoting, because I don't know. So as you can probably tell from what we're seeing here, something very bad happens in this area. Because now we have the chopper, we have the first mate, the chief of security, and the captain. And they're going to land the chopper right on top of the reactor. Which, as we can see, is not really a viable place to land a helicopter. I believe we have to head around here and follow the cracks still.
В тот день, когда задрожат стерегущие дом, и согнутся мужи силы, и перестанут молоть меющие, потому что их немного осталось, и помрачатся смотрящие в окно, и запираться будут двери на улицу, когда замолкнет звук жернова, и будет вставать человек по крику петуха, и замолкнут щери пения.
Okay, so yeah, the heat is just leading us. I guess the heat is leading the way, I suppose. It's kind of like leading the way, but at the same time it's just there, so you follow it.
И высоты будут им страшны, и на дороге ужасы, и зацветет миндаль, и отяжелеет кузнечик, и рассыплется каперс, ибо отходит человек в вечный дом свой, и готовы окружить его по улице плакальщицы.
I guess it's poignant that all of the emergency Rafts are here on the side of the deck, not having been used, of course, by any of the crew to escape. They're all here. They're damaged, but they're all here, so you know the crew never left.
А коли не порвалась серебряная цепочка, и не разорвалась золотая повязка, и не разбился кувшин у источника, и не обрушилось колесо над колодезем, и возвратится прах в землю, чем он и был, а дух возвратился к Богу, который дал его.
And another mental echo. A very dangerous place.
Как же я? Меня забыли! Не бросайте! Не бросайте! Как же я?
Oh, poor guy, they're leaving him behind.
А лес все пел свою мрачную песню, и гром гремел, и лил дождь. Что сделаю я для людей? Сильнее грома крикнул Данка. И вдруг он разорвал руками себе грудь и вырвал из нее свое сердце, высоко поднял его над головой. Оно пылало так ярко, как солнце, и ярче солнца, и весь лес замолчал, освещенный этим факелом великой любви к людям. А тьма разлетелась от света его, и там, глубоко в лесу, дрожащая, пала в гнилой зев болота. Люди же изумленные стали как камни. Кинул взор вперед себя на ширь степи гордый смельчак Данка. Кинул он радостный взор на свободную землю и засмеялся гордо, а потом упал и умер. Люди же, радостные и полные надежд, не заметили смерти его и не видали, что еще пылает рядом с трупом Данка его смелое сердце. Только один осторожный человек заметил это и, боясь чего-то, наступил на гордое сердце ногой. И вот оно, рассыпавшись в искры, угасло.
And we know where that line came from. Sends up a shower of sparks and then went out. So, the Danko parable is partially part of the ship and part of the captain. So, Danko is like the captain, but as the captain has stated, the captain's like the ship, so they're almost one and the same. So now we have an actual mental echo to deal with, and this one is a lot crazier than the ones we've come up to so far. Because now there's one more body we have to save. Now I'm not entirely sure who this gentleman is supposed to represent. He's like a cross between Justice and Neptune. But what we need is we need a couple of things. Where I hear you. Where are you? Whoop. Ah, no. There it is. So now this is a fight between hot and cold once again. And what we have to do is we have to ensure that we get more warm than cold through here. Because otherwise we have a big problem. Missed. Come on, hit him again. There it is. Oh, gentlemen. Ow. I'm trying to help. Okay, we may not make this echo because I don't have any. Yep. He overwhelmed us. So luckily this is not a classic boss fight. It no longer requires our guns. Now it's a fight between heat and cold. And if we don't have enough heat and he has too much cold, we end up freezing to death. We fail to save the ship. There we go. Whoa, 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 how did it become cold again? Ah, and I walked right into it. Okay, so we're running into balancing issues. We got this. Might take a few tries, but we got this. Because it's honestly not that complex a battle. It really isn't. It's actually a very simple battle, but we just have to have better timing than he does until we can get enough warm. I don't think he doesn't reconvert it. It's just we hit it at the same time he did, and it didn't count for us, it counted for him. So yeah, we have to collect our heat. And as you can see on the tips of our fingers, we have the symbols. And as we increase the heat, our fingertips become glowy. I guess you could say that they become warm. And we just have to get a few more. I think it's, I can't count, like 4 more? 4 more now, yeah. We have to get 4 more, and then we'll have enough power to finish the job. Because if he strikes them, it becomes cold. So I'm not sure if this is an adversary. Like he feels like an adversary, but at the same time, it feels like a challenge. Like he's not evil, but he's challenging you. But then again, we also have the idea of the atoms going around the nucleus kind of thing because he is a nuclear reactor. So I'm not entirely sure what this gentleman represents, but I think he represents basically everything about the ship. Like, just everything about seafaring life or reactors or just, it's really hard to say. Maybe the captain's enlightening quotes let us know something, but as you can see, he doesn't feel like a threat, because now he's inviting us in. Uh-oh. Maybe the invite was a threat itself. I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, he doesn't feel like an enemy so much as an adversary, something to overcome. And so you're fighting with him, but it's not life or death. I mean, it's a mental echo. And he's in the reactor, part of the reactor. It's just really hard to say what he represents. So I always like to think of him as sort of a Neptunian creature, but still hard to say.
Суд же состоит в том, что свет пришел в мир, но люди более возлюбили тьму, нежели свет, потому что дела их были злы.
Никто тебе не поможет. Весь мир против тебя. Защити себя сам, или они сожрут тебя.
Now here we have a choice. This is us on this side. And then this gentleman on this side. I believe. No, okay, yeah. Now I'm not even sure what this is. It's a warp in the world, it looks like. It's hard to say. I think it might be a silhouette of the chopper? Or just a break in the universe. I'm not sure which. It's very odd. So, it looks like we just have us on this side. So we activate ourselves.
Откройте, что с вами?
Самый полный вперед!
А радиограмма где? Ты что, ему радиограмму отдал?
В чем дело? Кажется, ты этого хотел.
Бери штурвал, корабль твой.
Поворотов нет. Рычаг не работает. Не могу повернуть. Помогай. Рычаг хода заклинило. Машина. Полный назад.
20 узлов идем. Опасно.
Телеграф заклинило. Давай реверс. Под трибунал пойдешь.
Ход на реверс. Пожар в турбинном отсеке.
So that was us. Now we just experienced the same scene that we saw before, but instead of being inside the captain or stuck inside the captain, we were inside ourselves. But there's no way for us to affect the scene because we weren't actually there. However, he was.
В чем дело? Кажется, ты этого хотел.
Бери штурвал, корабль твой.
Поворотов нет. Рычаг не работает. Не могу повернуть.
Come on, Captain.
Ибо если упадет один, то другой поднимет товарища своего. Но горе одному, когда упадет, и другого нет, который поднял бы.
Держись, старик. Я за корабль в штабе на коленях умолять буду. Только держись, слышишь?
Выходим! Выходим! Вода! Вода! Все! На воду вышли! По воде идем!
And through one act of, well, I won't call it self-sacrifice, but one selfless act, it is all undone.
Держи руку. Хватайся, хватайся за руку. Хватайся за руку, кому говорю. Ну. Фу. Фу. Капитан атомного ледокола «Северный ветер» с прибытием. Вам повезло. Здесь очень тонкий лед. Можно запросто погибнуть. Ну что, не будем терять времени. Пройдемте на корабль. У нас впереди трудный путь. А ваших замечательных псов мы отправим обратно. В отличие от нас, они всегда найдут дорогу домой.
«Идем!» — крикнул Данко и бросился вперед на свое место, высоко держа горящее сердце и освещая им путь людям. Они бросились за ним очарованные, когда лес снова зашумел, удивленно качая вершинами, но его шум был заглушен топотом бегущих людей. Все бежали быстро и смело, увлекаемые чудесным зрелищем горящего сердца. И теперь гибли, но гибли без жалоб и слез. А Данко все был впереди, и сердце его все пылало, пылало.
Danko saved the day! And so did we. So now you can see the difference between the two scenes. When they originally showed up, it was all ice and glaciers and spikes and angry. The whole place just looked angry. And then when we fell in the hole, we hit solid ice at the bottom and we were able to make it to the ship and climb our way in and so on. But now when we finally make it out here, when everything turns around and reverses itself, everything's flat. There's no more angry spikes. And then when the ground cracks and we almost fall in, it's all water below us. But the captain's there to save us. So one selfless act to turn it all around, to show love and warmth to your friends. Or whatever. I honestly will say that I'm not entirely sure what the message here is, but the game is so awesome and Russian that I honestly don't care. But it's a very interesting credit roll. But yes, that is Cryostasis, absolutely. And I would like to thank you all very much for joining me, 4KB Short, on this Let's Play of Cryostasis. And I will see you guys next game.
Небе